time become death, the destroyer of worlds? I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
But why? Why should death be something everyone has to fear? Do we only live because we don't want to die? Why is that? Something good come from living.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another show, The Aftermath. Man, boy, I got some stuff to share today. And what is today? March 12th, 2024. And as you can see in the title, the NPCs have created a problem and the masses will suffer for it. I think this might be a long one. I think so. We're now live streaming on Facebook, X, and of course Rumble. And it will end on Rumble. I'm just going to give you some teasers to go into what is what. So, due to censorship, but maybe I can go into this right here. Uh, Let me go into what is going on right now. I'm looking at things. I'm seeing what's happening in the economy. You got Bitcoin shooting up to an all-time high. Gold shooting up to an all-time high. That's because people with the money are nervous of what's to come. You have the biggest companies, the CEOs extracting massive amount of money out of the stocks, selling off shares and putting their money somewhere, right? And everybody keeps saying, what do they know that we don't? Well, let me tell you. What they know is we are truly screwed. And I'm going to give you some video to show so. And let's start off with, are you familiar with the migrants? Let's check out this little thing.
Last one. Hold on. Blue punch on. He's right here. That's what I'm telling you. Hold on. Bro, he just said hold on. Hey. You still walking in. Hold on. Bro, he just told you to hold on.
Syria. What's your name?
Milad.
Milad? Why'd you come to the U.S.? Why coming to U.S.?
Dude.
No?
Look at what he's wearing.
Okay.
Now that military-aged male was wearing a 511 tactical jacket. Now, you have to ask, why is this happening?
Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Is that what you're asking? Well, that's a good question. Why this is happening is because y'all voted for Biden. And I'm talking to the male and females right now because you live in sin. You eat your own children, just like I showed with where Big Reed talked about the welfare mothers and prison pipeline of the schools, how everybody's getting a piece of the pie. Everybody's getting a piece of the pie, y'all. And these people are taking over. Boy, they're going to wipe you out. And what I'm saying is, you just saw all these African dudes, you seen the Chinese, and you see the Islamics. Yo, do the females know what's up? My women, my lovely women, educated, proper, are good in their femininity. I fear for you the most because what you've done was right, and only hope I have for you is that your husbands will be able to protect you in what is going to come. Because as we all know, we have females in all levels. I mean, look at the Fannie Willis debacle. Look at the attorneys, the DAs, the mayors, these female mayors that have just corrupted everything. And these are the same type of women that just go abroad and get with those African dudes. Those are kings. That's the patriarchy right there. The Africans, the Chinese, the what, the Islam. Oh man, boy, they about to set this country straight. And I kind of don't mind. And let me show you why.
As you heard,
We're not going to go into that just yet. I'm just putting that up there so you can see where we're going. Because I trim that up and everything like that. But this is going to be a bit profanity by Big Reed. And but it's the truth though. So don't shoot the messenger. Just take the message and run with it. Let's go.
I do these videos, I be trying to explain that what a lot of these women don't understand is that pussy is medication to a lot of these niggas. That pussy. A nigga
stick his dick in that cock, bust that nut, and all that stress is relieved. It's released when they do that. But when these bitches ain't giving that pussy up and these niggas jerking off, some of them playing with their homies, they get frustrated. And with frustration comes anger and violence. And next thing you know, somebody is losing their life. That's why I always say, man, these bitches got to start fucking and sucking again and stop playing with their girlfriends. Y'all stay on point and watch y'all back.
You heard that? That is something that the female has kept away from their man. And let's see what that creates.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is definitely probably my last day at PF. Definitely probably my last day here.
You see that? You see that, dude? Let's play that shit again.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is definitely probably my last day at PF. Definitely probably my last day here.
You are in the land of dysfunction. Dysfunction. And you got the army coming in and getting support. Right? And what is the feminist movement doing?
Hi, is there a problem?
No, what's going on?
Then why were you staring at me? Hey, is there a problem?
No, there's no problem.
Then why were you just staring at me?
Were you staring at me?
Who the f*** are you guys?
All right here, bro.
Why are there so many ring lights?
I'm a micro-influencer, but you wouldn't know it.
Ladies, cover up. You know, we shouldn't have to do this, but
in the middle
here
of
we
summer.
are doing it.
Very cool.
Yeah, try us now. The whole thing. Good luck. It's on tape.
You gonna put this on YouTube?
Oh my god, is this creep staring at you? I saw you looking at me.
Who the f*** is this?
You on camera?
Boy. Yeah, of course that was a joke. That was a joke. But I mean, it's some reality though, right? And man, the black female is just unbelievable. And they just don't have a clue. They will be the ones to suffer the most. I think with the army coming in, they looking to abuse and enslave and sell them off. And there'll be no one to help them. And because of this, because of how most men feel.
How do you feel about black women? And it's whatever. I mean, I don't normally date them. But my thing is, it's not necessarily it's the skin color that's the problem. It's the behaviors that turn me off a lot of the times. It doesn't have to do, because I've been with black girls before.
What is it then?
The behaviors?
All black girls the same?
Keep in mind.
The way they carry
What about their behavior?
Yeah, what is the behavior to you?
What is it, well, it's the behaviors that I dislike. So, like,
Tell
you know,
us.
being loud, obnoxious, argumentative, masculine.
Is that black girl to you?
Well, not all black girls are like that, but
they're not.
but some are.
So do you feel black women are aggressive? When you say masculine, do you associate that with aggressiveness?
A portion of them definitely are, yeah.
So does that make you stay away from black women since you've got that impression kind of on black women?
Well, it's not that. It's that, see, in the black community, they champion that type of behavior. You know, be strong, be independent, etc. And these things aren't necessarily traits that men look for in women.
They're out of their femininity. And now we will continue with the people that demand femininity and where this is going.
Also talks about, as you heard, her reasoning for moving to the Gambia. This is another woman who was very successful in the Gambia, was buying land and properties, who has since been unalived. Take a look at what the authorities in the Gambia have to say.
We would just give a brief fact regarding the case of Sakina Chenedu. She was reported missing on Wednesday, the 14th of February, 2024. After when the issue of the missing of this Chenedu came, the police swiftly get into the matter, investigate, and then a suspect was apprehended. The suspect definitely, helped the police during the course of the investigation, and then the police were able to get admission from the suspect. He confessed of doing the act. I first told the police that he used a hammer, and the hammer he used is this hammer. So he helped the police to recover this hammer based on his own confession. He hit the disease with this hammer on the neck, at the back of the neck.
So you heard the police officer talking about.
So they're using hammers. That seems to be a preferred tool. A preferred tool, because there's numerous ones that they use the hammer on. And these are the women that you just heard the man say, which you can't get along with them, their attitude and everything like that. They're not traditional women. They don't bring nothing more. You make the mistake by marrying them, and then they go ahead and act the fool. Don't give you what you want. Just use you up like a tool, right? Steal your wealth. Let's continue.
How she was unalived, and the man who was responsible for her passing, who has admitted to doing it, and he actually worked for her. And they had gone out to a property that she had purchased, or rather the land that she had purchased, and that is where he ended her life. Aside from the two that we just saw videos of, there are also 4 others prior to her also unaliving in very suspicious ways. Sister Mary Gaskin, she actually owned a salon where she was a loctician. She also was involved with a Gambian man. She didn't show up to work one day. Her workers were concerned. They did a wellness check, and they found her unalived in her home. Sister Audrey Davis was engaged to marry a Gambian man, and she was going to be married within 2 weeks. She had a home that she had built out there. She had purchased chickens. She, too, ended up unalived under suspicious circumstances, and there is also reports that her fiancé is living in her home. Dr. Beverly Allen, another sister who was out there doing great things, building her own home, buying land, also ends up unalived under suspicious circumstances. So we have all of these sisters out here. And this is a cautionary tale as an African woman speaking. The dynamic is different on the continent. If you are a woman who is successful and you elect to move and you get involved with somebody on the continent who is not as financially successful, or his status isn't at the same level as yours, and you end up being the breadwinner, you cannot talk to them crazy. You can't treat them as though they are not equal. You can't talk down to them. You can't disrespect them. You can't disobey them. Because on the continent, whether or not they're in those conditions, they are still considered to be the man. So you
don't even have to go to the continent now. The continent has come to you. And now you will learn.
Level is here. Here. Level yangu iko hapa juu. Yako iko chini kwa mchanga. Yeah. That's the difference. You are there. I'm here.
Yeah, you're about to find out where you are. I heard a woman talking about, an African king. Oh yeah, you can have that. He come with the hammer. Man, let me tell you something. I just want to interject this. There's an African woman, right? She had a husband. They had multiple children. Child Protective Services had to get involved. And so he had to leave the house. He has a shop, a repair shop, and she does braiding. Go figure, right? You know that dude doesn't pay any bills at that shop. He just makes his money, and she's paying every bill at the shop. Yo, if you want one of these guys, you could have them. You could have the Chinese, you could have the Muslims, everything. You's about to find out. You's about to go where you belong. You chose it. You chose it. If you go that way, you chose that. I'm quite sure I can speak for all men, all American men. You go right ahead. Don't be trying to come back, man. I remember a long time ago. This girl, Spanish girl, Spanish girl. She had a Spanish boyfriend. They were high school sweethearts for years. We're talking about freshman, sophomore, and then somewhere in junior, she cheated on him with a gang banger. Mm. Needless to say, the proper good young man, he didn't want nothing to do with her no more. So they separate. So she got with this guy. The guy got her pregnant. I don't even think she finished high school. And boy, the abuse began. He goes to jail. He's getting out of jail. He finds her and everything like that. And he's gonna move back in. And she was crying to me, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. You made your choice. This dude is crazy. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing for you. Shit. And if you do something, you call the cops to get him locked up, then his boy's gonna come and or some chicks and everything, and they're gonna be whipping on your ass. Go do your thing. And you notice the Hispanics, they got like a gang going on, organized crime, right? They just busted down in Florida over 280 people, I do believe, for sex trafficking. All because don't know how to act. Now, a lot of you females are gonna be on your own.
You can't be out there talking all crazy and trying to be the dominant in a male-dominant continent.
Can't do
They
that.
very much fashion themselves after the Bible. God.
Yo, you can't do that here without consequences. You might not get the hammer. You might not get the disrespect, but guess what? You get the silence, and you get a man that just don't want to be bothered. And what's the penalty is what's here now.
Man, woman, child. First of all, you don't want to go by yourself. You want to make sure that you establish a community.
You should have had your man with you, a man that you know how to treat. But you don't know about marriage. You don't know what it is to be a wife. You were not raised to be a wife. You shouldn't have got married.
That you can trust. And so if you're moving by yourself as a single woman, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. This false sense of security that you have when you go to another island or another country is really intellectually irresponsible. You have to move with the same level of caution and safety that you would if you were in the hood.
Intellectually irresponsible. Who would have thought that they have these females that are intellectually irresponsible? I've been going over this in videos, but we're going to get to it. We're going to get to the end of why this is the end. Boy, nothing but suffering ahead.
America or Canada or anywhere else in the Western world. So thinking that you can go there and still behave the same way you do, still treat these men that are less than the same way you would in your other country is not the way of life on the continent. Just like in the Western world, the older, wealthier men who would probably be your equal are likely not available. So then what you have left are the younger ones who don't have a lot going on for themselves, who don't even have running water. But there are so many reports of sisters saying, oh, I'll go there and I'll take care of them. Oh, I'll go there and make that home ours. I'll feed him. And these are the kinds of comments that are coming through when you see the video. And that's just an example of a fine chocolate brother, because there are reports that there are many. It is vast that look like this brother. And so you hear these women saying this and making these comments, but this is not the comments they would make on their own area, in their own country. Exactly. So let this be a lesson to the sisters. Please move with safety. Please understand the dynamics of where you are. This is lack of knowledge on your part. You want to make sure you know the lay of the land before you decide to go there as a single person and live and involve yourself with men out there, or even trying to build out there, building businesses. And then you're vlogging and you're outlining deficiencies and you are talking about things that are going on in that country, you have to be very careful about what you're dealing with. Because again, if you don't have the community and you don't have the help and you don't have people around you that you can trust and you're moving by yourself.
Yo, there's nothing like having people that you can trust, people that you can depend on. Nothing like it. But they will throw that out the window. They will throw 20 years out the window. 20, 30, 40 years out the window for people that they can't trust. And go against someone that's bone certified, always been there, all because of dysfunction.
You are a walking target. Rest in peace to them, and to everybody else. Please, please be very, very mindful and careful. And
I highly doubt if they're resting in peace. Would you be resting in peace if maybe you had children and you got with some loser and he done bashed you over the head with a hammer and now he's living in your house? He's taking all your assets and your children don't have what you wanted for them? Everything you worked for, all the buffoonery you did, all the stealing you did from probably past men you had? No, I don't think they're resting in peace at all.
ensure that you educate yourself and you're knowledgeable about where you choose to make your life and with whom you choose to make your life with.
Yeah.
But let's be real about it. Men are seeing everything. Some of you women are irrational. Some of you women allow your emotions to dictate your behavior. Also, a lot of you women have allowed society to condition you, and many of you women compare your relationships and your dating experiences to those of your friends. So not only does he have to meet up to your standards, but he also has to meet up to your friends' unrealistic standards or unrealistic expectations as well, because you tend to place those on the men you date. Come on now, do some self-reflection to see maybe you're the problem.
On your face, because I know. Now get down from me. Ain't no dude. You are not sticking your dick in my ass. Stop this shit. You ain't sticking your dick in my fucking ass. If you disrespect me like that, for all the shit I did, I will fucking.
A 23-year-old illegal immigrant in Texas have been arrested and charged with capital murder after stabbing a 16-year-old girl to death. So look, according to the reports, the mother of the 16-year-old girl said, "I had been trying to get in contact with her all day. I was calling her phone, I was sending text messages, and I never heard nothing back. So I went home to see if she was there, and that's where I found her at. She was in the bathroom in the bathtub. It had blood smeared on both sides, and she was laying in the middle with a stab wound to her upper stomach. She had been stabbed multiple times, and it looked like he tried to give her a bath after he killed her. This is the same person who broke into our apartment a month ago. Listen, this girl mom said, the same dude who broke in my house came back a month later and killed my daughter. And now they're pointing out the fact that he's an illegal immigrant. It's too late for that. This is why America is so divided on this issue. Because you want us to be okay with undocumented people coming here, but then when they get here, you don't want to protect us. And if you can't stop them from breaking in our house, I know you ain't gonna be able to stop them from taking our lives. And she said, looked like he gave my daughter a bath when he finished. Who are these people that's coming into our neighborhoods? And you don't have to be a politician to know that it's more of this to come, because you're letting thousands of people over without giving them resources.
Oh, they giving them resources in New York.
No food, nowhere to live, no money. Everybody is not going to be fortunate enough to go to New York and get a debit card with a few $100s on it. And you're not telling them that. So they come here and they get frustrated and they take their problems out on us. But we didn't ask for this. So we shouldn't lose our children's lives or our lives because of this.
Yo, this is government funded via nonprofits. This is New World Order. They're coming out with a movie shortly, supposed to be coming out, called Civil War. This right here is the Civil War. This is the Civil War. I was looking at Kitco. I played a little video of it on my other video where Grant Cardone's brother said that we're going to war. Not only are we going to war, they're trying to get it up where we're going to war with Russia and China, but we're going to be having a civil war here. And we're going to be fighting against these clowns. That's why they're already trying to put in weaponry. They're trying to say, oh, you can't have weapons and stuff like that. Which there's somewhere that's passing a law, which are because somebody used their assault rifle to defend themselves, on the Texas border or something like that, against some illegal migrants. They said, oh, you can't do that. You can't protect yourself from them. And and this is all leading up to something here. This is all leading up to something. This is about to be on and popping. So all the ignorance and everything is about to be done.
At some point, it can't just be all about getting a vote. It's real people that's putting y'all in these positions. And we not putting y'all there because we like y'all. We putting y'all there because of what y'all said y'all would do for us. And now that you're there, we expect things. We expect you to keep us safe. We expect y'all to know who's coming in and out of the country. And I'm not gonna pretend like America didn't have any problems before the illegal immigrant situation, because we did. But that's more of a reason why we can't have this.
Here's up, guys. John here. Every American should be paying very close attention to Pennsylvania right now.
Now this right here is why you're screwed. This is why you are so screwed. And I hope, my men and women, that you are prepared for what is to come, because the males and females will be at it, getting wiped out. Take it away. Because they so stupid, they don't know how to move. They don't have no loyalty, no respect, no dignity to their own self, nor their children or their spouses. And now they're going to be on their own. You ain't going to be able to call 911. Check this out.
Pittsburgh specifically, as they are slashing the police budgets to the likes in which we've never before seen. Now police will not respond between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. Even if someone breaks into your home, they won't respond. Including theft, harassment, criminal mischief, right? And this post already has 8.4 million views in the last 24 hours.
Pittsburgh police leaders are restructuring the bureau.
The hours from 3 a.m. to 7, those calls will be queued up for the person that comes in at 7 a.m. to take the reports in the morning.
It's seen over 100 million times all throughout social media. But when you look at what's going on in Pittsburgh, then you pay very close attention.
This is about to be the purge. 24/7 purge.
What's unfolding in 15 other cities in America, which I'm going to share with you what these cities are. They're following very similar protocols. But then the big question is, why? Is this a really good decision to make? I mean, the conversation being had the last couple of years is defund the police, get rid of the police. The conversation has been that police officers are bad.
More than $840 million were cut from U.S. police budgets. That was in 2020.
Milwaukee Common Council approved a resolution to study ways to cut the police budget by 10%.
But when you look at where we are, we're record high inflation, record high food costs, record high car payments, record high car insurance, record high credit card debt, people are being pushed to the brink financially. I mean, there's nowhere to move for most Americans. And then you remove police departments, what's going to happen? People are going to start doing things to, that they otherwise wouldn't do to survive. And when you have a lower probability of getting caught for a crime, I think you're going to see more people committing those crimes. Take a look at this. I'm going to show you a little clip of it. right here.
The way police respond, they will no longer respond to calls that aren't considered in-progress emergency. That means calls like criminal mischief, theft,
harassment, burglary, right? Shocking, absolutely shocking. Another post, 200,000 views. Now here are the 15 cities. 15, and this is posted 5 hours ago. The 11th, 2024, 7:28 a.m. 15 cities defunding budgets to the bare minimum. And so, in a dramatic shift, cities across the United States are embarking on sweeping police budget reforms, signaling a resounding call to direct funding away from law enforcement, from Austin redirecting $150 million to community programs, to Minneapolis committing to reimagining public safety with $28 million reduction. Cities are dramatically shifting priorities. Cities that employ these strategies include, now look at these. These are the cities right here. You have Minneapolis doing this. You have, look, San Francisco. That doesn't surprise anybody. Then you have Austin, Portland. You have New York City, Seattle, Philly. Look at this. LA, Salt Lake City, Dallas. It's absolutely unreal. Hartford, New Orleans, Baltimore. And you can imagine what Baltimore would look like? Like Boston, and every single city. You have Long Beach, all doing the same exact thing. The conversation has been had that police are very, very, very bad people, and that, that we need to really defund them. But the reality, I think, couldn't be further from the truth. My opinion, people don't get into, wanting to become a police officer for the money. They get into it because they want to, protect and serve, and they genuinely want to make the world a better place. Sure, there's probably some bad apples, just like any industry. If you look at some doctors, some insurance agents, some real estate agents, mortgage lenders, people that work in every industry, there's probably some great people, and there's probably some people that aren't so ethical, that aren't so great, right? But to take one specific job and basically say that nearly everyone in this career is a bad person, you have to ask yourself, who is saying that? Why are they saying that? Why is this actually happening? What is the real incentive? What is the real gain long term, right? Because I personally don't think the real gain is in the betterment of the everyday American. Now, when you look at this scenario, Pittsburgh police will no longer respond to calls that are not in progress emergencies amid resource crunch. And so this is, again, theft, harassment, and burglary alarms. But what is absolutely shocking is this coming from the police chief, Larry Scirotto. Now, this police chief might sound familiar because this police chief was fired. He was fired last year, or 2 years ago, March 5th. 2022, and Fort Lauderdale. And the reason that he was firing people was because of what he said here. He said that the report said Scirotto once pointed to a conference room wall, displaying photos of the department's command staff, and stated that that wall is too, I'm going to change that. And so what he said was that he was sworn in police chief mid-August, and the city had hired a law firm by November to investigate complaints of discrimination before he was fired on Thursday. And it's pretty shocking, right? It's pretty shocking. Imagine being promoted or demoted based solely on pigmentation of your skin, right? It should be, in my opinion, based on, your ability to perform that job, right? Well, that's not, in fact, the case. So when you start to see him getting moved to Pittsburgh, and then out of nowhere, you see Pittsburgh doing what is happening right now in Pittsburgh, you have to ask yourself, is that right, or was he put there? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch. So Pittsburgh city controller warned.
Next year, they'll be hiring the migrants to be your police. That's what they've been talking about, right? They got a whole bunch of city, state jobs available in New York. 10,000 jobs that they're looking to let illegal migrants get into these state-funded operations. You as an American, you got to pay and fill out an application and do a test to get into, right? Man, make it make sense.
That city is heading into a major financial crisis. And the reason that they're heading into this financial crisis, the first of those assessments appeals by downtown office buildings, which emptied during the pandemic and have never recovered. Downtown makes up 25% of the city's taxable real estate, about $30 million a year in revenue. Those appeals are cutting those assessments and those tax payments in half in some cases. Not only will the city be getting half the revenue, but it has already cut $1.8 million in refund checks and will be cutting more. In addition to not bringing in revenue, we're going to owe checks back to property owners who own commercial buildings in downtown. Then there's the sports facility usage fee, the so-called jock tax. For the past 20 years, the city has raked in $70 million levying a fee for visiting athletes and performers who come to Pittsburgh. The courts have ruled it unconstitutional. So not Only will the city not be getting it. It's anticipated $4.4 million in revenue this year. Will likely be refunding a large chunk of the $70 million. This could blow a hole inside of that budget. And then you look at other cities that are dealing with massive budget deficits. You have New York City, Chicago, Honolulu, Portland, New Orleans, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Dallas, Pittsburgh, Miami. You have all these different cities. They're in a massive, massive deficit. Many of these cities have promoted the movement of, defunding police and bringing in, workers that will, have walkie-talkies, and they'll be able to, try to remedy the situation in a different way, a way in which they think is more equitable. You have to ask yourself, though, of these cities, how many people here are pushed to the brink financially? Like New York City, for example, probably nearly almost everybody. Chicago, Portland, Philadelphia, St. Louis, all of these cities are expensive places to live, right? And so when they're expensive places to live and the cities are drowning in debt, and they have been saying that they want to defund the police, and there are, many of these locations like New York, pushing Portland, proposed budget cuts impacting special education, family school districts. A lot of these places, Portland, New York, Minneapolis, all talking about these budget cuts for schools. And these very, very budget cuts, these very deficits are also hitting these same exact cities that also promoted, to defund. So in my opinion, I think what we're going to start to see here is a lot more pain coming for budgets all across all of these cities. And with this, we're going to see a massive push away from police. We're going to likely see crime start to go parabolic. Because I personally believe that Jerome Powell is not going to cut rates this year. I personally think that the affordability crisis is going to get worse. Inflation is going to get worse. People are going to be pushed into a harder and harder and harder spot. I genuinely believe most people are good people. But when you put people in a place where they can't feed themselves, a good percentage of those people are going to turn. And that's what I think we're walking into. I think we're walking into a scenario this year and next year where we are going to see more of this, more of what's unfolding in Pittsburgh right now, where between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., then before you know it's going to be between the hours of 12 a.m. and 9 a.m., they're going to start cutting budgets left, right, and center. And I think it's up to every American to be prepared, be educated about what's really going on. Look at things very, very clearly. Look at what's happening, the price of gold, the price of Bitcoin. People are not trusting the system, not trusting the dollar. People are getting more skittish, more really careful about everything. What do you think about this entire situation? Do you think we're walking into a scenario where this could potentially be spreading nationwide, and instead we could be walking into a world that is, some would say, even lawless? Drop below, let's have a conversation about this. I personally think this could be happening this year and next year.
Sounds like a Road Warrior scenario. Do you think that's bullshit? Do you think that's bullshit? To the females that are worried about the next nice outfit so they can look sexy, they can live their best life. You're not gonna be living your best life for long. It's already crumbling all around you. But let's go into this one here.
Poorest people are usually the ones that's always complaining about what somebody else ain't doing for them. They never actually went through anything. They're not honoring their ancestors by doing the things that's best for them. They usually are the worst people for their communities. And the biggest way for you to come up on the black community is to race hustle. So when you then go in and say, well, white people is against us, they're not actually helping you. They're enabling you to continue to be a piece of shit, to be at the bottom of the barrel, not to actually help and be productive members of society. And then they take y'all money and they say that they're building a school for the next 15 years that they're not actually building. And so it's unfortunate that y'all continue to fall for this trap. You literally in 2024 and you're still talking about race relations and bullshit like that, when everything that you've ever had has enabled you to be the worst version of yourself. And the minute that you take ownership and responsibility of that, you ruined your homes, you let white women come in, and the only way that y'all got finesse from a race perspective is they leveraged y'all for feminism when that wasn't even black women fighting in the first place. And then y'all wanted to complain about what it is that you don't have when you have every single opportunity against you. And the only people that's racist is you against your own people, more importantly against the men that you open up your legs to and have children with, and then complain about whether or not they're supposed to take care of y'all afterwards. Y'all are the worst people for the community. Everything that you stand for, what your lives represent, and you are actually a disgrace to the people that actually came before you that advocated for you to be free in the first place. If you want to honor your ancestors, sound like a white supremacist. You want to honor your ancestors, please. Flat out. Okay? Flat out. Stop running in the victim Olympics. That's what you sound like, sir. Together. Stop having student loan debt so that you then be indebted and asking Biden for forgiveness and voting a certain type of way based off of what's promised to you instead of doing the thing that's in the best interest of your families. When y'all learn to be quiet and then operate based off of what it is that you're supposed to do instead of operating based off of how you feel, you'll start to have better results. In the meantime, what I know y'all gonna do is y'all gonna let this go in one ear and out the other. You're gonna be disrespectful. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna call a black man a nigga, and then you're gonna sit here and complain about what white people ain't giving you, and you're gonna continue to be a nuisance to your race.
Woo-wee. And I think with that, that's our cue to disconnect from Facebook. I'm going to disconnect. And we're going to... I'm disconnecting from Facebook. And I'm going to disconnect. Should I disconnect from X? I think we should be fine on X. Okay. Now we are on X and Rumble. X gets all kind of stuff. And by the way, everybody that's tuned into this footage and you agree with my perspective on what's going on, please like and subscribe. Go to where's that? Go to all my social media.